My name's Kelly Brown. I relocated from Atlanta, Georgia to Johannesburg, South Africa. And I purchased this property here for $260,000 US. Please come and take a look. The first time I visited Johannesburg, South Africa was in 2021. COVID was still kind of percolating a little bit. I visited here with some friends. My son came with me, and I love South Africa. I was able to visit Johannesburg. I went to Cape Town and Durban, and I just found myself intrigued with the opportunity and everything that the country had to offer. So much so that after doing a lot of the touristy spots, I came back 4 months later. We continued to tour around and meet some locals, and we really enjoyed the area. In turn, started to look at real estate. Decided that I was going to purchase something. I was looking at a lock-up and go, a 3-bedroom apartment, or maybe 2-bedroom apartment. My real estate agent at the time said that this property was available, so I decided to come out and take a look, and I fell in love with the property, and I ended up purchasing about 2 months later. Impression was, believe it or not, being that I was an air traffic controller and have a diverse background in aviation, was the airport. Tambo Airport, it's a huge airport. Not quite the size of Atlanta Hartsfield, but it's close. It's a very big airport, international airport, and it struck me of all the planes that were at the many different gates there at the airport. That's the first thing that struck me. That was the beginning of me learning that South Africa was very modern, a very modern country, and like I said previously, had all the creature comforts to offer that I could find in the U.S. Honestly, so my son opened my eyes to South Africa. He made a visit here, and he had nothing but great things to talk about it. And for my birthday the following year, he gifted me a trip here. And that's how I said in 2021, after COVID, after the country was open again, my son and I, along with another travel group, we came here in November of 2021. We were here for about 3 weeks and fell in love. Fell in love with the environment and with the culture and with the many different things and culture that it had to offer. And again, we left and we came back the following April of 2022, March of 2022. It really opened my eyes to the culture here in South Africa and everything that it had to offer. And what I was surprised about was all the creature comforts that I experienced in Atlanta, I could find here in South Africa. Wow, the daily expenses. So you have to take in consideration my retirement income is from the U.S., so I'm getting U.S. dollars. Going out to dinner, buying groceries, things of that nature, it's much less expensive here than it is in the U.S. I have my fiancée and 2 friends that came over for the first time to see South Africa, and we went out to dinner. I'll just give you an example. We went out to dinner the other night, and the 4 of us, we had appetizers, of course, the main course, dessert, drinks, and we ended up spending somewhere around maybe $40 or $50 US with everything. And if I was in the US in Atlanta, that would be my meal alone probably. So we ate and drank comfortably here for 4 people at that price. So I found and I went grocery shopping today, and I was able to purchase my groceries for about $30 or $40 US. So it's really cost effective and inexpensive to live here. South Africa is much more affordable to live than the USA. The most expensive thing that I found is getting a flight here. It's really the most expensive. Once I got here, my money stretches a long way. The US dollar goes a long way here. It was very similar to that in the US. I got a real estate agent. I did get a lawyer because I wanted to make sure that I did everything by the book. I dotted the I's and crossed the T's when it came down to purchasing some property. I've heard some stories in the past about people going to other countries and purchasing property and having some issues. So I got a lawyer, I got a real estate agent, and made sure I did everything appropriately. And it's very similar to that in the U.S. in the sense that we started looking at properties, and this has so many diverse properties to look at. I looked at an apartment building downtown Sandton. I think it's about 25-story building, and I looked at a 3-bedroom apartment on I think it was the 19th or the 20th floor with breathtaking views. I think it was called the Michelangelo, and I came close to making an offer on that property, I remember. I also looked at a 3-bedroom apartment at 20 West in Sandton. It's a very nice apartment building. And again, I wanted a lock up and go, something that I could purchase, come stay for a couple months, and then go back to the U.S. and stay for a couple months and just kind of teeter back and forth. But again, my real estate agent showed me this property, and I fell in love with it.
Hi, my name is Tasha Avery, and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States. I actually came with my fiance, Kelly Brown. He purchased a home here a couple years ago, and we came up for holiday, and we've been here now for about 2.5 weeks. My first impression, I did not expect it to be as modern. I didn't expect to have actual neighborhoods. I'm not even sure what I was expecting, but I did not expect the experience that I'm receiving. Candidly, the culture shock was really like United States. And it was welcoming, warm. I hate to say this, but apartheid was not too long ago. So I expected it to be not as urban. And I was shocked. I was shocked by that. Oh, I love it. I've actually gained way too much weight in 2.5 weeks. Met some great people, had some great experiences. Aside from just some of the shopping, the markets, we did a couple safaris, so it's been awesome. I've asked a couple people to join me, and they all, for whatever reason, could not. This is a great experience that you have to experience. It's a once in a lifetime experience. So you missed out, and I'm sorry, but you definitely have to experience it.
As part of my journey, I was looking to really understand more of the culture. I didn't learn too much about Africa in the U.S. growing up, so I really was interested in learning the rich history. I know there's thousands of years of history here on the continent, and my goal was to come here to South Africa and then venture to other countries to learn more about the history that I was not aware of in growing up in the U.S. Since I started coming in 2021, I've been able to travel to Tanzania, depending on how you pronounce it. I went to Dar es Salaam, Arusha, and Zanzibar. I've been able to go to Nairobi, Kenya. I was able to travel to Mombasa, and I've been able to go to Namibia, Windhoek in Namibia. I've been to Mozambique, Maputo, Mozambique, and I've been slowly traveling to other countries just so that I can learn the rich history that the continent has to offer. The people are so genuine, and the ones I've come across are so loving and nice and warm and welcoming. I have not had one negative experience in all my travels here to South Africa. I enjoy the rich history, just learning about the cultures, the different tribes, and just meeting new people. And the richness of this country is overwhelming at times. So I definitely felt welcomed when I came to South Africa. I was fortunate enough my son had some friends here that he went to college with, and he also, he knew from his endeavors. So he introduced me to them, and they in turn introduced me to other people here who are more my age. I'm 56, so in my age group and older. And I've just met people through networking and through other people. It's been a great experience. I've really met some really good great, caring, giving people since I've been here in Johannesburg. What surprised me about the locals in South Africa, again, I keep going back to the rich history, the culture, which is very different than it is in the U.S. But the U.S. will be 250 years old next year, and we have thousands of years of culture here in South Africa and other countries on the continent. And it's really surprising to learn about the science and the maths and the rich history here on this continent and in South Africa. You know, we call it the cradle of civilization here on the continent. So everything started here. So to learn more about the richness and the culture and the dynamics between the different tribes and the differences in how each tribe has its own culture per se. So just to learn about their history and everything they have to offer here, it's been a pleasant surprise. I would say what matters to me more now, I'm 56, so I think I have less years in front of me than I had behind me. So I think what really is important for me now is living my life to the fullest, learning as much as I can, experiencing new things, and moving here gives me that opportunity. It gives me that opportunity to venture, like I said, to other countries, as well as see so much more here in South Africa. I think that being here has opened my eyes to things that I hadn't even previously thought of. Again, the history, the knowing of our culture. We call ourselves, black people in the United States, we call ourselves African Americans. Well, we have learned about the American portion, but we haven't necessarily learned that much about the African part of that African American lineage that we have. I think it's important for each person, if they have the opportunity, to learn about that African part of them, learn about the diaspora here, and learn about the rich culture and the tribes. And I would say come here and do a DNA test to understand where they come from, or what part of which country they come from, what tribe they may be a part of. It's I was able to travel to Ghana last year and had a very, very breathtaking experience. I mean, it was very deep to get there and see the trials and tribulations that our ancestors went through in order to make it to the U.S. I think that if you have an opportunity, whether you're African American or black or whatever you are, I think you should take some time to come to the continent and understand the positive experiences here and a lot of the negative that was experienced here during colonization. I have to be honest with you, I don't think I've made any mistakes financially coming to South Africa. The business that I had, the construction business that I had, I made money there. I was able to make some money, and I took some of those funds and purchased this home here in Johannesburg. And the home that I have, if you were to pick it up and put it in most cities, or close to most cities in the U.S., it would probably be 4 or 5 times the price that I paid for it. I paid a little over $260,000 for this house, U.S., at the time. I converted it over, of course, to Rand, and went through the process of transitioning it over. And I got a lawyer, as I said, and a real estate agent, and went through the process appropriately and made the purchase. I couldn't buy anything remotely close to this where I live in Atlanta for $260,000 with a swimming pool and a well-manicured backyard, and yeah, I couldn't come close. I don't think I've made any financial errors in moving here and investing here. I think that South Africa has so much opportunity that I see around me that the best is yet to come.
Here at Web Nation family, for years we've been sharing stories of diasporans who have relocated from the diaspora and currently living here on the continent of Africa. You guys have been enjoying the episode. Say in the comment section that you want this to be you one day. Why don't we just bring that time to now? We are inviting you to come on a trip with us to South Africa, November 2026. This is going to be an 11-day experience of we visiting cities like Cape Town, Johannesburg. We having experiences like going to the wine lands and actually experiencing South Africa, the people, the food. This is not just a vacation. This is a very well detailed experience that gives you the proper insight on people interested in relocating. The beautiful part about this is we've made it easy for you to come on this trip with us. By you just making a deposit, you get to pay the rest in installment and get yourself on a trip with us to South Africa. Scan the QR code, secure your spot, and see you in South Africa. Now guys, let's get back into the video.
Nothing's really changed since I moved here as far as my income's concerned. I have a yearly monthly pension that I receive. And I've been receiving that since I retired back in December of 2021. But I have done some contract work off and on here with different companies that has supplemented my income. But I'll be honest with you, the pension that I receive from the Federal Aviation Administration, I don't have to work here. I really don't, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, all of my expenses are covered and then some. So since I've been here, I have investigated some possible business ventures. I haven't settled on one yet. I'm still in the process of trying to figure out what type of business I want to start here. In the US, I had a small construction company where I would build homes from scratch, from the ground up. And it was relatively successful, so I maybe get into some type of construction here, I'm not sure. But I'm not 100% sure which way I want to go yet. I have a very diverse and long aviation background and career to pull on. If I wanted to get into aviation, I'm sure I could start my own business, probably in some way helping the already well-established aviation industry here in South Africa. But I think I have some skill sets that would fit in here in South Africa if I chose to start my own business and do some type of contract work and help out in that way. I'm not sure yet, but I'll sit down with the new year coming and determine what I want to do by next year. Yes, so in coming to South Africa, when I got here and I started to exchange with the people, I just felt this sense of belonging, if you will. Not that I didn't have that sense in the US, but I was just shocked at how comfortable I felt here in the country and how comfortable I felt dealing with the South African people. And they make it so easy to be comfortable because they're very caring and nurturing. And unlike what some of the rumors I had heard previously, the South African people, all the ones I've come across, have been nothing but genuinely nice and friendly and just great people. And it made me feel like this is some place I wanted to spend more time. And as I stated previously, I started coming every 3 or 4 months. And that's when I purchased the property. And I don't have one negative story to tell you about traveling to South Africa. It's a beautiful country with so much to offer. So there is a sacrifice in spending this much time outside of the U.S. I'm proud to say I have my first granddaughter, my first grandchild, who was born. She just turned 2. So when I'm here, I'm not able to be there with family and friends. So that's a sacrifice in and of itself. But I do believe that being here in the country and the peace and calmness that I receive being here, it's definitely worth being away from my family and friends when I'm gone. So I found that the funds that I received from leasing the property, I was able to put into a savings account here. And I just recently received my permanent residency here in South Africa. And in receiving my permanent residency, it opened doors for me to make other investments financially I'll give you an example. I was able to put funds into a savings account where I would get a better yield, a better interest rate on my money there. So as you can open up an account here, even if you're not a citizen or a resident, but you won't have access to as many options as far as investments are concerned. Having just received my permanent residency back in October, I'm able now to actually start my own business here in South Africa, and that's what I plan to do at some point. Just need a tax ID, my South African tax ID number, and then I can start my own business, something I'll do soon. And that should allow me to make further investments here in the country and have further opportunities. I definitely feel wealthier since I've been here in South Africa, because I don't equate wealth and happiness with money per se. Of course, money makes things easier, makes it easier to live and easier for you to have access to things. But really, to me, the real wealth is peace of mind, the peace I spoke about earlier that I feel and when I come to this country, the peace and the less stress that's here. And, to me, that's wealth. I think that moving here to South Africa, hopefully we can have this conversation again in 20 or 30 years, but I think moving here will have extended my life just for getting away from the hustle and bustle of the United States. So I'm really looking forward to spend as much time as I can here in South Africa. In the next 5 years, I see myself venturing out to other countries. As I said, Atlanta and Johannesburg will be my base, my two bases. When I'm in the U.S., I'll be in the Atlanta area. And when I'm on the continent, I'll be here in Johannesburg. But I see myself venturing out to other countries and possibly purchasing some other properties and investing in some other countries. Now, what that looks like, I'm not 100% sure, but maybe real estate, maybe opening other businesses, I'm not sure. And also investing here in South Africa, definitely. In some way, shape, form, or fashion. I will start a business here and take advantage of the opportunities that are open to me. So my advice to folks who are watching this video or maybe open or thinking about coming to the continent of Africa, the first step is to come. Make that decision. I think that South Africa is a great country to start in. It's very well developed, as I said. You're going to find all the creature comforts here in South Africa that you'll find in the U.S. I would say start here. I don't want to plug for any airline, but Delta Airlines flies directly here from Atlanta. United flies directly from Newark in New Jersey. Make the opportunity, make the decision to travel here and come here and spend a couple days and see exactly words can't describe the beauty and the feeling that you'll receive here. So my first suggestion would be just make that first trip. And once you make the first trip, everything else will speak for itself. I would have told my younger self to come here sooner. I would have suggested to my younger self to make a trip here to South Africa probably in my 40s. Financially, I was ready then. I probably would have been able to come here and purchase sooner. I would have told myself to start looking at South Africa, start looking at other countries, and look to those places as somewhere where you can invest your funds. My message to the people watching is to please take some time out, come to South Africa, come to the continent of Africa, whichever country you choose. Come and learn more about the rich history here, understand what's available here, whether you want to invest in any of the countries on the continent, or whether you want to just come here and learn about the rich history. Please come. I open myself up to you, saying this has been a life-changing experience for me coming here, and experiencing what I've experienced here and meeting the friends and folks here in South Africa and other countries. If you have the opportunity, make that trip. Come over here and see what I'm talking about. And I'm sure that you will be so pleasantly surprised when you get here.